Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Debonair Dialogue. And I want you guys to still let me know, who was your favorite guest to this date? Who was the best person that came the heaviest, the hardest, with the tea, with the questions, with the answers? Who was it for you? Speaking of, I'm going to introduce you guys to Caleb. Caleb, say what's up to the people.
What's up? How y'all feeling, man?
All right, so I'm really excited to have Caleb here for more than one reason, but the main reason is that Caleb is a part of a production company, and I always wanted somebody to come on my show, let me know like, hey, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? I want to have you on my show because you've been doing this more than I have. Like, my thing is a teacher. Like, I teach. Like, I teach. I style a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I feel like like all the other things. So I was excited to have you like on the show.
I appreciate
talk about production, talk about your expertise, talk about the ups and downs, talk to the people about the aspiring podcasters, the aspiring influencers, so on and so forth. Like, what does it take? So I know that I've talked to a couple people close to you. Yeah. Really close to you. Well, say hey to the people first.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, y'all?
Sorry.
Glad to be here. Debonair Dialogue. First of all, you killing it. I'm extremely proud of you. Happy for you. Mogul in the making. So yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to be. That's what I'm trying to be. But I know that according to talking to you, and talking to a lot of people close to you, it took you going through some things to get to where you are.
For sure.
With your podcast, and with your production career, because you're doing both right now.
Yeah.
So can you just share some of the ups and downs, or something that's gonna stick with somebody that is like, okay, I'm about to just call it quits with this whole podcast thing because it's too much. Yeah. And I'm kicking out money and I'm not like, it's not,
no, for sure.
Let the people know, like ground them, basically.
Of course.
Ground them.
Well, podcasting too is like this new thing, but it's not a new thing, right? So podcasts have really been going on since like Joe Rogan days around 2010. So it's been for like a real long time. But, more recently from people seeing podcast deals, it's turned into like the rap game to where everybody wants to be a rapper now, but not like truly understanding.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, like Kendrick became Kendrick off of 10 plus years, not just off of 2 years and then Damn comes out.
Right.
So man, for me personally, like I've been doing podcasting or media journalism, like real print, newspaper, magazines, and all that good stuff since like my freshman year of college here at State. So, being on campus, being over the school's media department, over the school newspaper, all of that stuff. So I was like super hands-on.
So you're sliding all that into there.
No. Like it's a.
But tell the people, like, what does that consist of to make you like? Why are they choosing you? Is my question.
I see what you're saying.
What I mean?
Okay,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, great personality.
Yeah.
Yes, you're handsome.
I see what you're saying.
But who cares?
Yeah.
So are another million people.
Of course.
So why are they choosing you? Like,
that's the question. So why are they? Of
what
course,
do you feel like
choosing me
takes the cake?
I would say, if it comes to most spots, right, the person who owns it or is like part of it, 9 times out of 10 they don't have a podcast, right? So it's kind of weird because how can I help you but I'm not in it myself,
right?
So if you have just questions about who should I interview, how should I interview, who should I speak to, I got you, because I've been through those same experiences and I'm still going through those very same things as well. So overall, like if you just want to start something, I can truly just help you like hands-on from day one all the way through, and being consistent. So many people start a podcast. I think around 90% of people don't make it past episode 5.
And that's what I've heard as well.
Yeah, so like my job is, Sid, Aaron, Devin, is to make sure that, like what you said, everybody's grounded. You can have like an actual content strategy, because if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're starting something just because you saw it on YouTube, you have no idea that it's production costs behind everything. How do you stretch each dollar, budgeting, all that. So I can truly help you because I'm going through and I've been through all those same things as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think, like, you're really good at it, obviously.
No, I appreciate it.
You're really good at it, but why do you feel like this is your passion? Because I feel like there are certain things about me or attributes where I could name, okay, this is where this may come from, and this is why I might love this.
Right.
So why is this? Why do you feel like this is your lane? And it's not a branding thing of why people should come to you, but why do you feel like you can say that you're established in the game of this is what I do, this is what I love? Like, what separates you from, like you said, there's a lot of people in all the industries.
Yeah.
And especially in Atlanta, everybody wants to do a podcast.
Yep.
Everybody wants to do hair. Everybody wants to do lashes. Everybody wants to do everything.
Music.
Even the scamming, right?
Nah, that's a fact.
Everyone wants to scam.
Folks want to scam. Yeah.
Like, you know, so what makes you... What would be your elevator speech per se of why Caleb is not the regular Atlantean that wants to be like, I'm self-proclaimed this and that?
Yeah, man, work, man. People do not pay their dues, right? So often, you know, we'll see Joe Schmo that says, I'm the man in this, or I'm the podcast person for this, for that. But like, for me, this is almost 10 plus years in now. Right. So I have actual experience in doing journalism, and I'm passionate just about telling people stories. And I think so many times, you know, if you're scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, everybody's trying to get sound bites, but are we telling people stories?
Right.
So for me, if it's like any person that's coming in, I just want to sit down with you and just like humanize you and actually talk to you, whether it's an hour, 2 hours.
And wait, can I cut you off?
No, please.
When you say humanize, does that mean get to the real?
Get to the real, and then two, just like chop it up. Like, so many people try to, again, have sound bites or don't listen. My job is just to ask a good question here and there, sit back, let you speak, explain yourself, and just have value. Like, anytime that, you know, you're on my page or like checking us out, I want for you to see that stuff and just say, man, I feel that.
Right.
So that's the overall goal.
Same.
Yeah.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Same with me. So do you feel like you're accomplishing that right now? Because I know that you have your own platform.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you're accomplishing that? And then also, what do you feel like are the key points of bringing people together? Because obviously we're on similar mindsets of the podcast. Like, we're not here to just talk.
For sure.
It's not going to be just all us.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want you to just listen to me.
For sure.
There needs to be a takeaway.
I like that.
So I want to know, do you feel like you're doing that? And then what got you to that point of wanting a platform that somebody could take away? Because I can name 26 platforms where there's no takeaway at all. And then the people that own those platforms are okay with that.
They don't care.
They don't care.
That's a fact.
What is it? So what is the difference?
I would say for me, I kind of knew that, you know, it was time to have like my own platform. I would say like right after college, right? So, you know, you would have jobs like a CNN, Fox 5, right, where, you know, if you turn on like the news station, Miss So-and-so just turned 110 years old today, or this cat died. It's like,
wow.
Yeah, it's like, cool, okay, but we aren't telling stories. Right. And I think that drive, that hunger of we need to sit down, talk to people. My man H, Live Hip Hop Daily, I interned there, so my junior year of college, and he had a podcast studio here in Atlanta, and he showed me everything about how to start one, create it. He was running it. He would have the vibes, whether it was a party, having weed, drinks, whatever, and he showed me everything. So that bug, it bit me, and it showed me, hey, as a black man, as a black woman, a black person here in Atlanta, you can start that. So yeah, man, just starting a platform, I feel like it's needed. Every person needs one. You have one. Prince, you know, shout out to him being on your show as well. Like, everybody needs a platform. So tell your stories in a takeaway. You said something that was like super deep, right? I don't like watching something and I can't take away something tangible from that conversation. Yeah. So,
and granted to that, everybody loves a good kiki, good gossip.
Of course.
But when we're talking about what separates, then I feel like the separation is going to be what can I take away? Because for me, if I was able to laugh at your show, cry, and be like, oh yeah, I'd be like, fuck that.
You felt all those emotions.
You know, and then to be like, oh God, and then to be like, oh, on a serious note, you know, like you feel all of those, and I feel like that makes a really good show. And it may not be all of the above every show. But your ultimate goal is for it to be more than just like we're just behind a mic talking.
Come on. Come on.
You know?
That's it.
So with that being said, I would say what is one of your favorite podcasts that you watch to this day?
In Class with
And
Carr.
why?
In Class with Carr, that's like probably number one for me. It's about Black history. I'm a nerd, so when it comes to like reading books, things like that. Dr. Greg Carr, he's over African American Studies at Howard. Mm-hmm. He has a podcast. Him and Karen Hunter. Karen Hunter, she's been doing journalism. She's like an OG. She's been doing newspapers, New York market, so that's a major market. So a Black woman who's a journalist, and she's dropping a podcast every single Saturday. I tune in, talk about current events, connecting that with Black history, documents, things like that. So that's a dope podcast. If you're a Black person, I highly suggest, even if you're white, whatever, check that out. It's just amazing information. That's one. And high level conversations, 19 Keys. I like that a lot. Earn Your Leisure too. I love that. Black business as well.
Yeah, I've heard of Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah. Heavy.
So how do you feel like we could be, and I say we because obviously we both have platforms, and that's another benefit of having you here. I think you're probably the first guest that has a platform as well as far as podcasts.
Yeah.
So I won't say a platform.
Yeah.
They all got
that's
platforms.
What I'm saying.
Like,
yeah.
you gotta be if you got a platform.
On. Hey, you got some good guests.
As far as you having a podcast, how do you keep neutral? How do you make sure that you're reaching everybody? Like even right now, I'm sure people are looking like, okay, well, a couple times you had like gay people, you might have a straight person here and there. Like people are calculating who you have.
Yeah.
And I feel like when it came time for us to sit down and do this show and talking about doing it, there was no reservation for you of sexuality.
Yeah.
So my thing is, how do we get rid of... Because that's a big elephant.
Yeah,
like
it's
to
crazy.
be honest, it's a big elephant.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For us, it wasn't.
Yeah.
For other people, it wasn't. But for some people, it was. Even in the past with other platforms and like having like heterosexual males on the thing, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
However, it can be a big deal.
Yeah.
So how do you combat that? How do you make sure that we're sticking with the vision and not the sexuality, even though the sexuality could be so evident? So how do you do that? That's a good question.
Black Oprah in the building, Devin. That's a great question. Man, for starters, right, I would say that everybody is a human being at the end of the day. And also to expect that all of us do the same exact things would be just asinine, right? And I think what makes this world in Atlanta so dope is everybody's different. And I guess from just growing up here in Atlanta, being around gay people all the time, I mean, I don't think it's this scary taboo thing. Even in college, like one of my mentors who taught us in school, he was gay. And I think that exposure is something that is extremely vital as well.
It's key.
It's key because if we aren't exposed to other things, other people, then stereotypes start playing a role. And then we start thinking because so-and-so told me this, then this is how everybody is. And that's not the case at all. So yeah, overall, I think it takes us having conversations and as well having open minds and not being afraid to just say, hey, what's up? I want to learn more about who you are. Explain all of this to me, and not even why you are this way or I'm this way. No, just for us to just talk.
You are.
Yeah, like, man, right. I'm telling you, having a podcast, and Devin, you're going to see from sitting down and just talking to so many people from different walks of life. That's one of the dopest things in the world, man. So, yeah, I just think that it takes black men, especially, black men as well, just to sit down, have conversations, be exposed to each other. I feel like,
not to cut you off, but black men are the Mecca.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, black men were seen as like a threat. Or people become a threat.
For sure.
And it's not because I or we have done something to be a threat, but that we could at times have that kingship. I'm not going to say superior. I'm going to use kingship instead.
Yeah. So
you see us with that kingship, and that kind of shakes you a little bit. But my question is, and my challenge is, what do you do with your kingship? What do you do with your kingship? And
privilege somewhat.
And so with mine, like, you know, like we develop kingship. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like certain races, you know, have their thing, whatever, where they're like born into, okay, your dad, you did this, your grandfather did this, you born into, you about to do this too, whatever.
Right.
But for some of us, we have to work a little bit harder, no matter how great our dad has been.
Yeah.
We have to work a little bit harder, but that kingship is still there to say, this is in my lineage to be a king. This is in my lineage to be a ruler. This is in my lineage to be a provider. This is my lineage to bless people. Like, you know, like that's in our lineage, that's you know?
Dope. Yeah.
So it's like sometimes we have to like prove it versus us just showing it.
That's it. Yeah.
So how do you feel about the prove versus let me show like anybody else could just show? Why do I have to prove it to anybody? Why can't I just like, you see how my lifestyle speaks for itself? The way I treat my wife or my girlfriend, my partner, my kids. Yeah. Why can't that speak for itself versus me having to prove who I am?
Ah, that's heavy. Look, what's understood doesn't have to be explained. So if you just walk in the room, I say this, man, all the time. If you see a person that's the loudest person in the room, that's the most insecure person.
Yeah.
So being a king means that you have to hold yourself to a certain high standard. That
a king would, because is a king going to be rowdy and loud?
A king is not a court jester, so you wouldn't come in.
Can you say that part again?
A king is not a court jester, so you wouldn't come in being goofy. Of course, have fun, but also understand that eyes are always watching you. So carry yourself in a strong manner. Treat people too how you want to be treated. That is the true definition of a king. Is a public servant. So serve others. Be helpful, be nice, be cool. So I say that.
Because you said that, like I've been saying on like literally to some degree on every episode, I'm like, treat people well, like be nice to whatever. So I don't know your like deepest, darkest secrets your whole life, whatever. But I would assume that for everybody, nothing has always been what you imagine.
Yeah.
So in that, how do you respond like a king when people are responding to you in a different way?
Ooh, that's good.
So as somebody that, again, you're well educated, and not that you think you're better, and not that you are better because you're well educated, but there's ramifications and things that you've done. You know, there's platforms and plateaus that you've reached and superseded. So when people are still trying to get ignorant, how do you get with that? And even with you having a business, you and Sydney and Aaron and Devin and the team having a business, I'm sure people get ignorant. So how do you maintain, I'm not going to like drop who I am to get with you, but I'm still going to let you know, don't play with us.
Nah, for sure.
So how do you, like, what are your thoughts or what goes into that?
That's a good question. Michelle Obama, the great Michelle Obama. Former First Lady, what she say, when they go low, we go high. I feel that. I would say, right, I've learned that when you have a standard for whether it's business, relationships, you start just blowing off negativity. So if, let's say this like random person tries to come in, talk to you crazy, if you have certain barriers already set in place, they won't even make it that far anyways. Now, if they do, whether it's in the business or personal, I've learned, you know, you can still be stern, but at the same time, you don't have to feed into it. So if somebody comes at me sideways or any person on the team, if that takes a conversation, so be it, but I'm not getting emotional with you. I'm not raising my voice. I'm saying what needs to be said. And once it's said, that's it. I'm not going back and forth. I'm not arguing. Sometimes too, man, we can always just try to feed back into it, but you don't have to. Like, even if it's a phone call, text message, once you say what needed to be said,
shut your mouth.
That's it. Peace.
And the fact that you said that, and it's like, I'm 30, I'm about to be 30, I'm about to be 35.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I'm like, I've learned to shut my mouth a long time ago.
Yeah.
But there's recent things that have happened to where I'm like, oh no, but I know in this moment I'm good with what I gotta say.
Come on.
But something is like, no, but still shut your. And I'm like, no.
Speak your piece.
What do you mean?
Speak your piece, but don't feed into it. Negativity.
And even sometimes
that.
Don't speak your piece, because why do you have to speak it?
Yeah.
If we have peace that passes all understanding, that's not the peace I have to make.
Come on. Yeah, I'm telling you.
And so to your point, that's what I'm learning to be like,
Yeah.
I got a bunch to say about.
Yeah.
Tag me in. Even if it's not nasty, it could be
Yeah.
nice, but tag me in. I got some stuff to say.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, peace that passes all understanding. Be silent at times.
Peace be
So
still.
I'm glad, peace be still. So
That's
I'm glad
it.
that you mentioned that. Let's toast
Yeah.
to that. Peace be
Ah,
still.
of course, I got you. Thank
So we have reached the end of another show, and I wish I could talk to everybody like all day, every day, because this is getting out of control.
That's what's
I
up.
want to talk to everybody all day, every day. I just want
Yeah.
to talk for a living. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please continue to subscribe, like, comment, and literally realize that we go off of you guys.
Yeah.
So we go off of what you like, what you don't like, what you comment, how you feel in your letters. And I just want to say again, thank you, but I want you guys to keep coming back. And I feel like I want to keep the interviews going. I want to call everybody back that I've ever interviewed ever for us all to do like a huge thing, and maybe we'll do that at the end.
Yeah.
But with that being said, thank you again, Caleb, for coming
I appreciate
through.
you, man. Thank you.
And tell them where they can follow your podcast.
Yeah. So you can follow me at 3 Milli Caleb, and also the podcast page at 3 Milli Pod. So that's number 3 MILLIPOD.
All right, so you know where you can follow him. You know that we're at Debonair Dialogue.
Yep.
And I want you guys to have a good time after watching the show. Kiki with your girls and your guys. See y'all next time. Thank
Peace.
you.